Hello and welcome to another episode of Breaking Mayberry, the show that asks the bold question, what if television was bad for you?
We're definitely the pioneers on that front. We're definitely beating Cracked circa 2004 to that punch.
No one has ever looked into this before.
Yeah. Bold trailblazers.
I'm one of your hosts, I'm Marty Schneider.
I'm that other host, Dan Ludwig.
And, Dan and I are back, and if you've never listened to the show before, we explore old television, particularly the Andy Griffith Show, to see what lessons it taught your grandparents that made everybody, messed up.
How it's the precursor to Fox News.
But we don't just do the Andy Griffith Show, and it's a little unfair for us to always pick on shows that came out 50 years ago.
Yeah.
So, this episode we might do something a little different. We're going to also poke into a modern television show as sort of a comparison point. But before we get into any of that,
yeah,
Dan, you told me you have a weird story.
Oh no, don't build it up that much. It was just how my weekend was. We found Coke in a bar.
Go on.
Okay, yeah. So yesterday I had a pretty good day. We went to a hike in Burns State Park in New Jersey, which God bless the people of Pennsylvania and New Jersey. You guys are doing the best you can with flatland. We went to a park whose central attraction was bog and also pond.
Yeah, we were in a swamp-ass city,
We spent a long time... We thought a bog was a cool swamp that had cranberries in it. And then we walked around for 30 minutes looking for this fucking bog. And then we looked up a bog and it was just a bunch of fucking mud. It's a bunch of mud.
Cranberry bogs, the way that you think of them, are not naturally occurring.
No?
No. Cranberry bogs, like you've seen in the Ocean Spray commercials,
yeah,
they flood the field to make the cranberries rise to the top.
God damn it.
And that's how they harvest them. That shit is not naturally occurring. So
in the ads, those dudes are up to their waists.
Yeah. That's because they made that.
Yeah.
They flooded those fields so that the cranberries that they've grown in the mud rise up to the top.
We were talking about this shit and I was I'm gonna just be scooping up some cranberries, just reaching into a bog. Maybe I'll see some crazy bog creatures. And then the dictionary...
frogs or turtles.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe there'll be a witch. I don't know. It's a bog.
Sure.
And then the bog is just mud that's kind of hard to walk through.
Yeah.
Then we walked through that shit 3 times looking for a body of water. So, yeah. It was...
That's also why it's a good place to hide a body.
Yeah, exactly. Well, no, because you would have to really do some stomping. We eventually found a pond, and I was possessed by the overwhelming certainty that I was about to see a dead body. There was one of those little banks along the pond that's kind of secluded, but not really. It was I'm gonna walk along this. I'm about to see a dead businessman, and was disappointed. I was disappointed.
You were disappointed you didn't find a dead businessman.
When am I
This could have become a true crime podcast very quickly.
I know. When am I going to get to be the character in the first scene of a Law & Order episode? We all get our turn, right? We're
all gonna get in that Tommy Westfall universe eventually.
Eventually, we all get to talk to an old cop and a young cop about the thing we saw. And I want to be the person in the first scene that was jogging and not the guy that's unloading boxes from a truck.
Yeah. I gotta say, whether you have a don't talk to cops policy or not, I feel when you find a body in a pond, that policy goes out the window.
Oh.
You gotta go talk to a cop.
Yeah, well, yeah, you're the pond body person never did it.
Yeah.
That would be a fucking crazy episode of Law & Order if it was it was the jogger who did it. So we did that.
So you bailed. You bailed on the bog.
We did a fair amount of hiking, mostly because we got lost. I had
So glad I didn't go on this trip.
Yeah. We were walking home along the side of the road, and at first I saw a beer can, and I was I respect nature. I'm gonna pick up that beer can. And then there was another beer can, and I picked up that beer can. After, about 10 minutes, I was holding, 7 beer cans. and found out that it was a half-mile walk to get back to a place where I could throw them away. So then I got to do that very fun, impotent thing of just, like, putting them in the middle of the road and saying, well, they're less in nature now, and then walking away. And then after that, we went to Flying Fish Brewery, which, delicious beer, no food, which was less than ideal after a hike. This is not important to anything. And then during a game of cornhole, which actually had an advertisement for their professional cornhole league, which plays on Thursdays and Mondays, we found a small bag of Coke.
Nice.
Which is it was basically the most brewery I've ever seen, because it had no fucking food, it had a professional cornhole league, and a small amount of Coke next to that cornhole league.
I've found, like, street Coke, before. If you live in Philadelphia, finding street Coke is just like finding woods porn as a kid. You know, you just encounter it at some point. I've
never found street Coke.
Oh, I found street Coke outside of a Brazilian steakhouse one time.
Who is leaving little bags of... The great thing is, there was a guy that was getting really fucking into a game of cornhole. just tossing those beanbags and be like, yes! Fuck yeah! Take that shit! That was 2 points! Like, you wish you could have that kind of accuracy. And then went to go to the bathroom on his way out and was like...
Just patting himself down.
Where the fuck is it?
Yeah, yep. That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, that's what happens. Like, a lot of people who are in, like, breweries or, like, somewhat middle-class restaurants, which is what, like, a Brazilian steakhouse is, you know, they have got, like, weak pockets, I guess.
Yeah. But cornhole is a very acrobatic sport. You're making a lot of moves.
You gotta, and if you don't have a clip on that baggie, man, you're gonna lose it. It's a small baggie.
If it's in your shirt pocket, that thing's popping out.
Oh, don't put it in your shirt pocket.
Yeah, but like responsible adults, we threw the Coke in the trash.
You fucking nerd.
Leave that out. Wait, no, should we? I have a job. We didn't actually take the Coke. Which probably should be clearly mentioned for one of my current employers finds out that I have a podcast.
Sure, to be clear, yeah, Dan did not do the Coke that he found on the floor.
I didn't do floor Coke, no.
I did not do the street Coke that I found outside of the Brazilian steakhouse either, although my friend did kind of, like, lick his finger and rub it on his teeth to get, like, this slight tingle.
I'm not a Coke person, but if I was a Coke person, I would be terrified of getting Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, you don't want to fucking street Coke that shit. Like... I'll tell you one thing. When we moved to this apartment that we're in right now, that you and I are recording in right now, this is in kind of a bougie neighborhood. I was upset by how bougie it was. Mm-hmm. And about within the first week of us being here, I was standing outside my house, and I looked down on the ground, and I saw a small little baggie, the size of a dime bag.
Yeah.
And I kind of chuckled to myself like, all right, okay, maybe this place isn't as white bread as I thought it was. And I reached down to pick it up, thinking that I had found, once again, street Coke.
Yeah.
And picked it up, and it was a fucking Ethernet port plug that was just there. And I got so mad. I got way madder than anybody should be that they didn't just find drugs on their street. I didn't want there to be drugs. I am also not a Coke person. But I just wanted some indication that maybe I didn't just move into the most bougie-ass neighborhood in the city. And I got confirmation of exactly the opposite.
I feel like you're in the most Coke area ever. We probably shouldn't, like, dox you by saying your neighborhood. But, like...
I live in a fairly wealthy neighborhood.
Yeah.
Yeah. I live in a fairly wealthy neighborhood, but it's also, like, a lot of families live in this neighborhood. So I feel like this is a lot of people who probably used to do Coke.
Yeah.
And then moved to this place to clean up.
I feel like this is not it. I was gonna be like, you're in the area of the people who, like, are in that sweet spot to do Coke. Like, they're not, like, quite that
No, dude, that's
old.
Fishtown.
That's
Fishtown.
Fishtown is where
I don't live there. Fishtown is where you get a lot of that.
Yeah.
Like,
everyone in Fishtown is on Coke. We're gonna draw that generalization.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This is real fucking fascinating shit for any listener who isn't in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Let's get into this fucking episode.
Let's get into this fucking very weird episode of television. This very deeply strange episode of TV.
Okay, so we are talking about, today, Season 3, Episode 6, Barney Mends a Broken Heart. Originally airs November 5th, 1962, directed or written by somebody new, Aaron Rubin. I looked up Aaron Rubin. There's nothing interesting about Aaron Rubin. No interesting death or anything. He worked on this. He worked on Gomer Pyle, and he worked on a few episodes of Sanford and Son. That's it. and directed by, alright, so we're at Molly Malloy's Tavern, right? And somebody orders a club sandwich, and this crazy son of a bitch, he looks at that sandwich that they get, and he goes, I can make a better fucking sandwich than that, right? And the bartender, Missy, she's like, you can't make a fucking better sandwich than that. And this crazy son of a bitch is like, I can make a better fucking sandwich than that. And he jumps over the bar and he goes into the fucking kitchen, right? And he starts toasting up the bread. He fucking fries an egg like a crazy ass madman, right? He takes the fucking bologna, he fries the fucking bologna, alright? And he makes this crazy sandwich. He's putting fucking, like, what they call endives on there, fucking crazy shit. He's got these pickled eggs and shit that he chops up, right? And he makes this messy ass fucking sandwich and he puts it in front of my face. And he says, try it. And I go, I don't want to fucking try it. And he goes, try it. And I go, I don't want to fucking try it. So I tried it. And Daniel, let me tell you, it was the most delicious goddamn thing I've ever tried in my whole fucking life. And now they have it on the fucking menu at Molly Malloy's. It's called the Bob Sweeney.
That man, Jonathan Quiznos.
Bob Sweeney.
Was that a Boston accent?
Kinda, yeah.
That was a solid Boston accent. So I should have gone first, because mine is just red herring character in an Agatha Christie novel, Bob Sweeney. I should have gone first. You gotta tell me when you're gonna do a big one.
So yeah, directed by Bob Sweeney. And here is your one-sentence summary from Wikipedia. After Andy and Peggy have a fight, Barney tries to fix Andy up with other girls who are a poor match, including the eccentric Lydia Crothwaite. First episode with The Fun Girls.
There's multiple episodes with these
The Fun Girls are recurring characters.
Oh, hell yes!
Yeah.
I fucking loved The Fun Girls.
Apparently Lydia Crothwaite is also a recurring character. So the two, like, dates that Andy goes on in this episode, we see these characters again.
We're finally rounding out the cast of this show beyond 3 dudes.
Yeah. One thing we wanted to talk about here. So this is an episode, this is a rebound episode, essentially.
Yeah.
Although there's not actually a breakup that happens here. This is an episode where Andy is upset over a relationship thing, and Barney tries to wingman for him. Barney tries to help him get over this heartbreak by taking him out and trying to hook him up with somebody else. It's
a Rebound Odyssey episode, which I think is an extremely... I think this is... The reason we want to talk about it is this is probably a very influential episode of TV.
It's funny that we talk about the Andy Griffith Show all the time and don't talk about, like, its direct influence on basically every sitcom you've ever seen in your life.
Yeah.
And this trope, this like wingman getting over it kind of trope, is so common. This may have been an origin, or at least one of the original examples. So, and I started asking people, like, what other examples they can come up with, and most everyone said, How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah.
Like, half the episodes of How I Met Your Mother are this. We watched a very specific episode.
Yeah.
That I think we're just going to weave into this conversation a little bit.
Yeah.
We're not going to really go beat by beat, but we're also talking about season 3, episode 1 of How I Met Your Mother, which is called Wait For It.
Yeah.
And that episode is about Ted Mosby, our character, who has met a mother in the future. But at this point, he's been broken up with by his girlfriend, Robin. It's been a couple months after. She shows up with a hot new boyfriend, played by Enrique Iglesias. And then he goes out on the rebound with his own Barney.
Yeah.
And he meets his own fun girls.
Yeah.
Played by Mandy Moore.
Yeah.
So, we'll kind of draw those comparison points. This is still a podcast about the Andy Griffith Show. I just want to compare it every once in a while to a show that it almost definitely directly influenced.
Yeah, because this basically, like, this is a genre of TV episode where, like, a character is either broken up with, or has a fight, or has some form of sort of hurt pride.
Yeah.
And they go out on a night with, like, a wingman, and they try to find a new person, and it goes wildly off the rails.
Yeah, it's a common trope.
And this basically, like, I think we'd originated it.
Yeah,
yeah.
One of the originals, if not the original.
Yeah.
So here we have Barney Mends A Broken Heart, and it starts off with Andy going to Peggy's because they're on a date. We got wool suit Andy.
Yeah, he's going to hang out with his new awesome girlfriend, Peggy.
His girlfriend Peggy, who he definitely hangs out with all the time and actually enjoys being around.
Oh, yeah, his girlfriend Peggy, who makes him happy.
Who we've seen him enjoy the company of numerous times.
Because they have so many similarities as people, and they have shared interests, and aren't just dating because they're two single people in a very small town.
Yeah, these two people actually care about each other, and we'll definitely see Peggy ever again.
You know, like, when Peggy leaves, I don't know what we're going to do for all the warmth and just general chemistry.
She really brings a lot to the show. I don't know if our sarcasm is coming thick enough.
We hate this fucking character.
I hate this character so much.
Might be one of the worst love interests I've ever seen, and we just watched some of How I Met Your Mother, which has some top 5 horrible love interests.
Yes, very true, very true.
Yeah,
but yeah, she sucks. She's coming to her end. The next time we see Peggy is going to be the last time we see Peggy.
Boom! Hell yeah!
I'm going to, before we do that, I'm going to go ahead and watch all the other Peggy episodes with a stopwatch to see how much screen time this relationship actually takes up. I'm guessing it's going to be under 16 minutes.
It's really, she shows up to make Andy unhappy, and then the rest of the episode is Andy being unhappy. And then at the very end, she swoops in and she's like, we're happy!
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, Peggy is not going to play a very big role in this. Don't get too attached to Peggy. But he shows up at Peggy's house because they're going out for a date. And he knocks on the door, and some dude who's eating a fucking sandwich shows up and answers.
Yeah, and he's not like, hey, I bet you're curious who I am. He's just like, sup, man? How's it going? This is a really good sandwich. I'm fucking loving this sandwich. God, what is that? Paprika? Hell yes.
Yeah, he's just mowing down on this.
I don't care what your name is. This sandwich.
Yeah, so, like, let's be clear here. This dude is definitely doing some dick swinging, right? Like, this dude shows up, he's just like, what's up? Hey, I'm probably gonna fuck your girlfriend later.
Okay, yeah, so...
Or I just did, you know.
Yeah, no, alright. If, like, this is sort of a little bit framed as, like, him overreacting and just kind of being a jealous dude. If I rolled up to the home of someone that, not just like my girlfriend or a girl I was dating, basically a date. Like, if I rolled up to a second date and there was a dude eating a sandwich and this situation happened, I'd be like, fuck off.
Yeah. So, like, this is apparently Don. He was an old classmate of Peggy's.
They went to college together. They specifically frame it as, we shared a chemistry table together.
We had chemistry together.
We shared a table and another thing or two, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, it's one thing if it was just like, oh yeah, we went to school together, but like, we shared stuff.
Yeah.
Like bodily fluids.
Yeah, but she's basically just like, Dawn was a really close friend and helped me out. We were really close in college.
And specifically, he was the smartest person in our college.
You know, that thing that you're definitely, like, insecure about, Andy?
Yeah.
Yeah, this guy's way better than...
Yeah.
Like, he's way better at that thing than you are.
Yeah, and she specifically says, like, he just dropped in out of town with no warning whatsoever, just showed up on my doorstep and said he needed a place to crash. How crazy is that?
I will say it's very funny that he's a pharmacist, specifically.
Yeah.
Because Andy has history with pharmacists.
Yeah.
Andy's ex-girlfriend was a pharmacist. And even though we don't mention her, it does feel like he has just some animosity towards pharmacists in general.
Yeah, because he's in town for a pharmacist convention.
No, he's on his way. It's not like there's a pharmacist convention.
It's in Miami.
Yeah, he's on his way, like, to Miami. So he stops in North Carolina?
He added an extra day to his trip so that he could stop in on his ex-girlfriend's place.
Yes.
But specifically Andy says, like, well, he's a pharmacist. Why doesn't he go down to the pharmacy and serve up milkshakes to people? Which, like, overt aggression.
Yeah.
Especially for this show.
And so Andy has a thing about pharmacists and their profession in general. Like,
he had his heart broken by a pharmacist once.
But yeah, Andy's just like, so what's going on? I thought we had a date.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, we did have a date, but you can't expect me to just tell Dawn to fuck off, right?
You
and
super
Andy's like,
can.
Yes, I can.
Yeah.
I absolutely can. I definitely can do this.
You can definitely be like, hey, Dawn, hang out. Or another option would be just like, hey, Dawn, do you want to come get dinner with us?
Or, hey, Dawn, here's the number of the Mayberry Motel.
Yeah.
Like, Jason runs it. He's a great dude and a youth pastor.
I mean, okay, so if he was just like...
He might talk to you about the Lord a little bit, but it's okay. It's okay. Just challenge him to one-on-one basketball.
Exactly. He's gonna keep turning chairs around on you, and he's wearing pretty aggressively colored Converse sneakers.
Yeah.
You're just gonna have to power through it.
He might have Jinkos on. You know?
Yeah.
Been a while since we brought up Jason, and I wanted to slide that one in there.
Yeah. You know who else wanted to slide one in? Don. Case in point, if he was just like a friend that was visiting from out of town, there would not be any hesitation of like, hey Jason, you want to just come out grab dinner with us? It won't be weird because we've never fucked.
Yeah.
But instead she's like, I can't have Don come out with us. We have sexual history together and that's weird.
Yeah. So Andy has every right to be upset here. They act like Andy's being irrational. No, Andy's being, like, he handles it pretty well. He's kind of a dick. He's like, okay, fine, go deal with this guy. Go feed this guy, I guess. I
don't know why, and again, I'm putting myself in Andy's shoes on this. The fact that he's eating a sandwich makes it worse.
Not only is he eating a sandwich, because, like, making a sandwich is a pretty intimate act. Like, let's be honest here.
Yeah.
Like, it's basically saying, like, hey, here's all the stuff I know you love in between two slices of bread.
Yeah.
That are gluten-free or whatever, because I know that you need that.
And also, there's, like, the added rudeness that he does not stop eating at any point in all of this.
Yeah.
Like,
in fact, he goes back to the kitchen, he's like, I'm so hungry, what else we fucking got here?
I'm gonna go eat the other half of this sandwich. And then he's just rolling in and out of the scene, just eating constantly. He doesn't stop eating to say hi.
He's like Brad Pitt in the Ocean's movies.
Yeah.
Like, just always eating something.
He's not like, oh, you're my friend's boyfriend. I'm gonna put down this sandwich and shake your hand. He's just like, I can't shake your hand. This sandwich is so good.
Just disrespecting Andy.
Was there prosciutto on this? God!
Andy has every fucking right to be pissed off about this. And so Andy says, yeah, go feed your hungry buzzard. And he storms off.
That's if not a breakup. That's like a hard fucking fight.
You want to compare this to the guy that shows up in How I Met Your Mother real quick?
Okay, yeah.
So yeah, in How I Met Your Mother, in this episode, months after that's one comparison point is, like, this couple has actually broken up.
Yeah.
Ted has broken up with Robin months ago, and she went off somewhere, and she went off to Argentina.
I just want to do a quick thing. If you haven't seen How I Met Your Mother, yes, you have. Everyone's seen How I Met Your Mother. You do know what we're talking about. Even if you didn't watch How I Met Your Mother, you have seen How I Met Your Mother.
It's definitely, like, embedded through cultural osmosis in this.
Ted, Robin, Barney, Lily, and Marshall. You can picture all of them perfectly in your mind's eye.
You know them. You know these people.
Yeah, you've been, like, it's kind of like, you know how animals have, like, inherent, like, memories and ideas that are implanted in their head so that they don't die? You have those characters implanted in your head.
Anyway, if you've never seen How I Met Your Mother, it's a very weird show about a man telling his children how many women he's fucked.
Yeah.
So, in this particular episode, Ted Mosby, our main character, meets his ex-girlfriend Robin's new fling. She went to Argentina, she met a guy, she brought the guy back.
Yeah.
The guy is played by Enrique Iglesias. There's a mildly racist moment where all of the white people in this episode have trouble pronouncing his name.
Which is Gael.
Yeah, his name is Gael, like he's a Kryptonian.
Yeah.
And
Wait, you just did the thing! You just did the making fun of the Latino guy's name.
I did. Okay.
Immediately.
I did the racist thing. You're correct.
It's just the white people racist about names gene that's activated.
You're correct. But no, yeah, there's a bit about them not being able to get his name right, and how it sounds like Gale.
Yeah.
And that goes on way too long. Anyway, she comes in with this super sexy new dude, Enrique Iglesias. He, like, emasculates Ted at every opportunity, at their bar.
Not intentionally, because it's just like this dude just rolls in and is sexy.
Yeah.
And it horribly emasculates the main character.
Yes.
Which is kind of like a break. They're both kind of breakup episodes, but they're not about breakups. Andy doesn't break up and Ted doesn't break up. It's his ex.
Yeah.
Just shows up with a new dude. But they're both about there being a guy who deeply emasculates you.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this is what happens. Ted, at this point, says, oh shit, my ex has a new hookup. I'm ready to get back out there now.
Yeah.
There's a big build-up. So that's the key difference in this, is that Ted chooses to go out.
Yeah.
Andy does not choose this.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's basically the point of comparison right now. Let's go back to Mayberry. Okay,
we are fucking trucking through this shit.
All right, so back in Mayberry, they go to the jail, and Andy is still in his suit. He says hey to Barney. He's being kind of short and testy with it.
Yeah.
And Barney's like, "What are you doing here, man? Didn't you had a date, right?
Yeah.
Like, were you gonna have a date?" Andy won't admit that things went poorly. He's just like, yeah, the date's over.
He's coming in to get a magazine, which, what?
Yeah.
He's like going all the way to work to get like a magazine? Just read a book. Or do another thing.
His cover story is that he left a magazine at work. He's gonna grab that magazine, and he's gonna go home and read this magazine and have a quiet evening by himself.
Yeah.
Which I think is pretty much just like, I didn't fucking know what to do, man. I didn't want to go straight home.
Yeah.
But then I came here and your annoying ass was here, so I guess I wanted a magazine. Bye!
Yeah, because I think his move was when he goes home eventually, they're just like, you got fucking stood up for your date. And he was like, if I go to the jail to pick up a magazine, that adds time before I go home. So I can just say that it was a short-ass date, and then he gets there, he's like, oh, fuck, Barney's here.
Right, and Barney being a true-ass bro.
Yeah.
Right. Barney's just like, okay, so clearly something went on. You want to talk about it? Talk to me about it.
Yeah.
Come here, cry on my shoulder.
So it is Barney's behavior in this scene, not this episode. His behavior in this scene would cause me to kill someone. But his behavior in this episode would cause me to kill someone. His behavior in this scene is pretty great.
Yeah, in this scene, he's just like, I'm your friend, please talk to me. I know you don't want to let your emotions show.
Yeah.
But you should.
Yeah.
And the gag here is just that he mispronounces a word.
Yeah.
He says it's therapeutic.
Yeah.
He says therapeutic instead of therapeutic, and the laugh track finds this fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
And the script finds this fucking hilarious because he does it 3 or 4 more times. But really, like, he's just being like,
you don't bottle up your emotions.
Yeah, he says, don't bottle it up. Talk to me. I'm here. I'm your friend.
Yeah, he specifically says, you got all that anger and hatred boiling inside of you, and you gotta talk to let it out. Which is, I feel like a little bit of, so I think his cardinal sin in this is like, kind of doing a little bit of overkill, because he's not like,
oh, do you think?
Yeah, he's not like, hey man, you had like kind of a bad night, and it's good to talk about it. He's like, you have been destroyed as a human and a man, and there is rage and hate boiling inside of you, and you need to cry like a child to let it out.
I mean, that's Barney's whole thing, right?
Yeah.
Is that everything is always cranked up to 11 for Barney. Sure.
But yeah, his overall thing is, he's right. Andy is completely in denial about what happened, and talking about it would make him feel better.
Or really just, okay, your night didn't go well, why don't you hang out with your best friend instead of going home to brood about it?
Yeah.
Like,
well, even if he did say what happened, everyone would be like, hey man, break up with Peggy. That's true.
Yeah. To be clear, Barney takes from this, like,
Peggy dumped him.
Yeah, Barney says, oh shit, they must be done now. And he has every right to think this.
Yeah.
Given Andy's behavior.
Yeah, if I came home from a thing and I was like this pissed, one of my roommates would be like, he got dumped.
Yeah, it's a very rational assumption.
Yeah.
Always weird when we're on Barney's side, but don't worry, that's gonna change.
Oh yeah.
Barney's like, I don't want to talk about this. I'm not here to brood. I just want to take this magazine and go home. Barney's like, okay, pal, I'm here for you. And then this is where he oversteps his bounds.
Yeah.
He gets on the phone. He calls Thelma Lou. He's like, hey, they're done. We gotta fucking help here.
Yeah.
We gotta do this.
Yeah, this is the exact moment where the worm kind of turns and he becomes a fucking psychopath.
Right.
Because he put it out there and Andy kind of curtly but respectfully declined. Everything would have probably been fine. And then actually have a fucking incredible scene. It is incredible in a couple of levels.
This next scene rules.
It's so great. So Andy goes home, and Obi is playing jacks in his living room, in the living room, like I guess like kids back then could.
Yeah, sure. Like you would do as a kid.
Be amused by the dumbest shit.
Yeah.
And Andy comes in, and Opie asks about the date.
Yeah, your 7-year-old child is just like,
hey, didn't you have a date tonight?
Yeah, and
Andy does not have a good explanation.
Yeah.